A lot of you have probably heard of the term or even the myth of Pandora's box. This will be helpful. The slide says Pandora's box.
So just imagine. What's the myth, you guys? Who knows the myth?
Well, in short, the reason we have the term Pandora's box is because the Greek god Zeus gave the first woman, the first human woman, Pandora, in the Greek mythology, a box, a beautiful, just the most beautiful box ever seen. And the only caveat was she could not open this box, whatever she did. And now, being human, she opened the box. And when she opened the box, all chaos erupted into our existence. All of the chaos, all of the evils, all of the ills erupted. So now when we're saying you're open Pandora's box, we're often referring to opening tremendous chaos, being in a lot of chaos. And another word that we heard was cacophony. So we're gonna do an exercise related to the term Pandora's box. To do this, and to do this well, it would be great if there were 4 people who feel that they're pretty good storytellers to volunteer to do this. Every description of what they saw was as close to accurate as they could get to their side of the box. And then they told a story about it, which added on a whole other level to their interpretation of what was going on based on what they saw on their side of the box. And all of them went in very disparate directions. This is more accurate to revealing what it's like when people get together to collaborate, either in a team or cross-functionally, than the idea of one idea versus another idea. Pandora's box is actually the way things are. We are always only able to see what we see from where we stand and our perspective. I can only see this side of the box. When you get locked in a collaboration where people are at odds, have no idea what's going on in terms of how to get things done, when there are multiple points of view, all of which just trying to get heard on top of the other one, you're inside of Pandora's box. When you're attempting to solve some really big questions, as to how do we really affect and improve what we're seeing in this sheet, in this report, you're inside of Pandora's box. The only way we were going to actually know all of Pandora's box was to step outside and to hear every person's perspective.
So what happens when we're really sped up? We're really sped up. Justin and I, if we represent 2 different functions or 2 different companies or 2 different teams, and we're really sped up and we come in and he's talking about bridges and I don't see bridges, what happens? Frustration. What else? Conflict. What else? Make assumptions. Like what kind of assumptions? You're wrong. Yeah, like you're wrong. What's that? He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm looking at it right here. I'm staring, looking at it. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Calling it Pandora's box is a way to actually point out that, yes, we are always inside of this. We are always going in and out of Pandora's box. So the kind of leadership skills that we're really focusing on this afternoon is how do you actually get outside of the box? What are the best tools to really get outside of the box? And the only way to know what someone else's perspective is, what do you think it is? To listen. That's the only way. When you were doing what is your name, what's your role here, How did you notice yourself change when you knew you had to repeat? You listened closer. So you actually noticed that you could do that. You could bring that form of listening forward. So that's a very tricky thing to talk about because that's an inner experience that you're having. You were making a choice to listen more closely, and you had to actually make that choice to do it. Because the automatic listening was, what's your name, what's your role here? And a lot of it was just relieving tension. We don't have to be quiet anymore. There's a lot of like, okay, let's just get to know each other a little bit. And then when you have to repeat, you're bringing a quality of attention. And that sort of inner experience that you just identified, that choice to bring that, we're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper with how much power or how much capability you have of that skill to do that. And it's going to seem like, listening can seem like a passive activity until you start to recognize that actually it's your key to unlocking Pandora's box.